everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm with the Division of Agriculture, and today I'm going to walk you through the application for our first ever hay and grain specialty offering. So if you bear with me, we're going to start that process, but first I wanted to walk you through the registration process if you've never done this before. All right, so this is our home page for our Smart Simple software program. It's going to ask you for a login and password. If you have applied for a microgrant before, you can use that same login credentials in order to log in. If you don't remember your password, do not panic. You see that forgot password right here? Just click on that and they will email you a temporary password that you can use to log in. Now, if you've never ever have filled out a microgrant application before, you can go to new to the system right down here and hit the register button. And that will bring you to the registration options. You can register as an individual or organization. To be completely honest, this current offering is actually geared more towards the individual, so first priority will go to individuals, but organizations are still allowed to apply. Once you have gone through the entire registration process, it will then send you a link to your email. It will be from Do Not Reply. If for some reason you don't get this, check your junk mail, and give it some time, maybe a couple of minutes. If you still continue to have problems, reach out to the grants team and we can see if we can troubleshoot it for you. But once you click into the email, this is what you'll have. There's an activation link. You just click into that, and then that will bring you to the home page of the application process. All right, so once you've logged in or you've registered and you've logged in, it's going to bring you to this page. And since I'm going to be filling this application out as an individual, and so my profile is for an individual, it's only giving me the opportunity to apply as an individual. So I'm going to click on Apply as an Individual. And then this brings you to the application itself. And then all of this here will actually pre-fill once you hit Save. So it's going to ask you for a project address. If it's not the same as your mailing address, please put in the project address. Which, if you have a P.O. box as your mailing address, that's not going to be where your project is taking place. And so then we're just going to go down here, ask for a social security number. Going to put in your social security number, project title, yes, I'm currently above the age of 18, closer to this side of 40. So the first question is going to ask, do you currently have a livestock operation? Because this is just for livestock producers. Because I'm filling this out to help you, even though I don't actually have an animal farm, I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to ask what type of project. So it's only two types of projects, one for small animal operations, such as poultry or rabbits, and that's a $2,000 grant, or large animals, that's your sheep, bison, elk, etc. And that's for $5,000. That seems like a lot of work, so I'm gonna go with the small animals. Current affordability. Can you currently afford to feed all of your animals without assistance? This is a yes or no question. Yes. Animals fed. What is the number of animals that you're currently feeding? I don't know what you're currently doing. I don't know if this is a realistic number, so I'm gonna go with 10. How many animals would you have to harvest without grant existence? So it's just saying, how many animals are you gonna have to kill because you can't afford the grain? Current budget. It wants to know what your current budget is for this current year. So currently, how much have you spent on feed? As I already mentioned, I don't have an operation, so I don't know if this is a realistic number. I have a feeling it's not, but I'm going to say $4,000 is what I've spent. What is the current market value of your animals? So if you were to sell your animals today, how much do you think you would get for them? I don't know, 1,500. And then it's going to ask you about last year's budget. How much did you spend on feed essentially last year? Going to say 5,000. What was the number of animals that I was feeding last year? So basically we kind of want to know, have you increased the number of animals from last year, or have you had to decrease it because you can't afford your feed? So what was the difference between this year and last year? Maybe you're one of those people that just keeps it steady. It's hard to say. What type of animals were you feeding last year? So here we want to know, what was your operation? Were you feeding cattle? Were you feeding chickens? What do you want? I chose a small operation, so I'm going to say that I was feeding geese. And then project details. So in 100 words, we just want the details of your project. We want to know what quantity of the food you plan to produce. So basically, if you have a small operation which is centered around poultry, how many eggs do you get? How are you doing broiler chickens? How many pounds of meat are you harvesting? That sort of things. We just want some hard data that is essentially going to help you fill out your final report at the end. So I am going to say I'm doing geese. I've never had a goose egg, or I don't even know how much they actually do produce, but I'm going to say 9 dozen eggs. Again, I clearly don't know what I'm doing, so this probably isn't very realistic, so stick with what you know. What is the dollar value of the food that you plan to produce? So if you were to sell what you are producing to a market, what would that value be? So if I was selling my 9 dozen eggs, how much would the store pay for that? I don't think goose eggs are in high demand, so probably not that much, but I'm going to say $1,000. And then in 50 words or less, please describe what the potential of requested funds to prevent the reduction of available livestock and its devastating impact on Alaskan food security. So basically, we just want to know why it is giving you funds is good for food security. So you just, 50 words, tell us what that means to you. And then it's going to ask you to choose your location, wherever that might be. And then the number of direct beneficiaries. So this is the number of beneficiaries that directly benefit. So people in your household, next door neighbors, that kind of thing, that it's quantifiable. So I only have one other person living with me, so I would say 2 people. Number of indirect. So basically, if I do sell this, or if I'm sharing it with my church group or donating it, how many people would indirectly benefit from this? And then the final question is, have you previously been a recipient of a microgrant award? Have not? Then I'm going to hit save. And then if I did this correctly, it should have given me, this was previously, it was left open until I hit the save. So now it did come up here and it filled in the amount of funds and it pulled it from the correct project that I was doing. And then final thing is the acknowledgements. And so then you're just going to go through, read all this, you sign it. And it's just pretty much acknowledging liability, duty to report, basically that you're not lying about anything. It just wants to make sure that you are aware of everything that has to do with this. And then that's it. You just hit submit and you're good to go. If you did miss something, it won't allow you to hit submit unless every field is filled out. So don't feel like you can prematurely hit submit. It will only let you submit when everything is as it is. But there it is. That's it. That's all you got to do. Thank you.